Welcome to Truth Juice, a place where we drink an incredible amount of juice. So sit back, put them little tootsies up and quench that thirst. So Truth Juice, Aspen. So would you like to squirt your truth juice over my face first, or what do you want to do?
You can go ahead and start.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah,
right, so I'm going to try something that I've never tried before, so it might go horribly fucking wrong, right? But I'm going to share a video, basically. And we'll just sit through it, and I'll be intrigued to see and hear your reaction, because I was watching it and I spat my food out when I was eating, because I got, when you see something, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, it was that kind of reaction. So see what you think, mate. So enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Right. Share that. Here she is. Big Sabrina. Can you see Sabrina?
Yeah, I can see her.
Yeah.
Here she is.
There she is. Girl Sabrina. Yeah. Can you hear Sabrina?
I can hear it. Yeah.
Try to trace the transition in the Western world from valuing voluptuous figures to valuing slender ones. And what I found was that it had everything to do with the growth of the slave trade.
Shall I stop it periodically and we could give feedback? Because I feel like already there's just like, hold on a minute. Hold on. Yeah. Just hold on. Because at first, when you see something, you're like, I'll give it a few minutes and just see where she's going with this. So are you kind of getting that? Because that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, how has she got, you know what I mean? Like, how is she linked being fat to the slave trade? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but, we'll continue, because I'm sure Sabrina knows what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course. Of course.
In the early years of slavery, voluptuous physiques were prized because slavery and the Renaissance were coterminous. And by a couple of centuries on, in the middle of the 18th century, it was very common for race scientists to suggest that, race is not just about skin color. It's also about behavior and appearance. We know that Europeans are the most superior, most disciplined, most rational of all the races. And that's why they are at the top of our racial hierarchies. But we also think that Black people are overly sensuous. They love sex. They love food. And as a result, they are chock full of venereal diseases and they are overweight. So from this, we have the seedlings of our current aesthetic system, which suggests that white, slender bodies, especially women's bodies, are valuable. But fat bodies, and especially fat Black bodies, are worth denigration.
So, Aspen, thoughts so far?
I think she's doing great. What's her name? Sabrina.
Sabrina Strings, man.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah, she's smashing it, man. She's
yeah.
Like, she's definitely not. This is just my opinion. I don't think she's just made a lot of this up from her own, and then kind of tried to supplement it with a bit of science to make it seem a bit more believable.
But that's not in the conversation.
No. I think she's got it spot on here. So would you like to continue, or?
Yeah, sure. This makes all the sense so far. So I'm really excited.
It's not just about health. This is clearly about aesthetics. This is about disciplining women often, and it's also about population management. People often feel uncomfortable with fat bodies, and so they do not want people themselves to feel comfortable gaining weight or being fat. It's
nothing to do with it being unhealthy.
No.
Nothing. No, people don't want to be fat just because it's not because it's God. I'll continue anyway.
When those people are women. And that goes back to the legacy of slavery and the ways in which the male gaze is often trying to regulate women's bodies, such that they only have the right to look in particular ways.
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until the 1980s around that the medical field started to use BMI. BMI, they admitted, was both flawed and arbitrary, but they adopted it anyway.
Right. This is just my opinion, yeah? But right. BMI is a good indicator whether or not you're healthy or not, right? Because I at one point was a fat shit, yeah? I went and got my BMI and my body mass index, so the amount of fat obviously on my body compared to the amount of muscle on my body was far much higher than it should be. So I was like, well, I'll lose weight. So her saying it's flawed, where the fuck is she getting this from? Where?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and I mean,
go on, sorry, mate.
Yeah. I mean, there are many systems, or well, most systems, almost all systems for measurement when it comes to everything, pretty much are flawed.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And I mean, but it's a really useful way to measure, like whether or not you actually are overweight, right? Because you measure your what's it called? You know, your waist.
Yeah,
exactly, your waist and whatnot. Yeah. It's not like you just stand on a scale and you just look at the weight, because you could weigh a lot but still have a good BMI, right? So it's just perfect. It's really useful.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, no, you're right, man. Like, if you just went to, like, I don't know if you have Boots in Sweden, like a chemist or whatever, and then got your BMI taken, but just on one of these scales, and you were a bodybuilder or someone really healthy and loads of muscle, obviously, like you say, you're gonna be heavier than but you're not going to just go, all right, that means this. What it means is, obviously, you get, like you say, you get your waist, like measured, waist, your cholesterol, all these blood pressure, all these different things. So she's just fucking
wow.
Yeah, it gets worse, man.
And we can see the wreckage that has resulted from that decision.
No, because
go on.
It's not the BMI, it's that you're fat as fuck. That is fucking doing it. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're just at a point now, though, aren't we, where, like, fat people who are just, let's be fucking honest, man, too fucking lazy to try and lose weight. They try and blame other things, like, or try and find excuses, like, fucking, just because I have a high BMI doesn't mean I'm overweight, or it's McDonald's fault that I'm fat. It's like, stop going to McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're at a point now where if we have this conversation, you and I, and there's someone who's morbidly obese present, there's one of two things that will happen. And obviously, we're not going to be cunts. We're not just going to point at them and say, you're a fucking lazy shit. But if they're one of those people who sit there and say, I don't know why I'm obese, or it's not my fault I'm obese, then I'll just slap them, because that's bullshit, man. Do you know what I mean? That's where we're at right now. I think that's what I think anyway. You know what I mean? And people like Sabrina fucking Strings.
It's
go on, mate. Sorry.
It's just so fucking ridiculous. I actually saw this video a girl had posted on TikTok where she said that actually pushing for a healthy lifestyle and losing weight, if you're or overweight, was fat phobia. She meant that it was fat phobic to tell people that it's more healthy to be skinny than it is to be fat. And
what the fuck?
And so and she also said that if you are overweight, especially if you're morbidly obese, and you start losing weight, you're also contributing to fat phobia, because you're being fat phobic to yourself. And I cannot make this up. That's legitimately what she said. You are fat phobic to yourself if you lose weight.
So what she's saying is, if you're morbidly obese and you've got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, your heart's clinging on for dear life, don't lose weight. Don't lose weight. You don't need, like, because, like, the thing is, like, I'm all for people body positive. I don't give a fuck, right? I do not give a fuck if someone's fat, but it annoys me, just like it probably annoys you, right? When fat people, I mean, like big fucking people who are able-minded and physically able to feed themselves. If they're not, that's a different story. You know what I mean? If someone else is feeding them and all that shit, that's a different story. It's not their fault. But if it's they can get a fork. Well, they probably use their hands a lot of the time, but like if they can get a fork and feed themselves, it's their fault why they're fat. It's no one else's, man. And it just fucking, and I hate this excuse, like, you know, these excuses, they just, everyone could be fat. Everyone could be fat. Like, I love food, man. I love food. But if I have a cheeseburger, I'm not then going to sit there and go, well, I'll have another 6. And I'll do the same for the next 6 months and then complain that I'm fat. Like, you know what I mean? I have a cheeseburger and then think, right, I best work out tomorrow and probably eat all right. You know, but I don't know, man. It just, and the thing about this video is how in the fuck has she related slavery, one of the worst abominations to have ever happened throughout history, right? To fat folk. Like, the next thing will be, if, you know, a fat phobia is linked to the Holocaust, it wouldn't surprise me, man. It wouldn't surprise me.
It's coming.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, like something like something along the lines of fucking, I don't know, if you know, because the Holocaust, people were really, really skinny in concentration camps, so therefore it's offensive to stay skinny because they were in a lot of pain, the people in the concentration camps. So some bullshit, and it's just. Yeah. But people eat it up, man. How many views? It's only had 45,000 views, but I mean,
thank goodness for that.
Yeah, but still, that's 45,000 people.
And too many. 45,000 too many.
Yeah, and it's got 983 thumbs up. So at the very least, that's 983 people who've gone, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
What is the top comment there?
As a black woman, this is absolutely ridiculous. Go on. Yeah. Good on her. Right. And then do not compare being fat phobic to racist. I completely agree. We cannot change being black. You can diet and exercise if you're unhealthy weight that is causing you harm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it, man.
Yeah.
As a fat man.
It's that simple.
She's pretending 1 century of Euroculture means multiple centuries. Fatness was a symbol of beauty and wealth in Europe up until that one's shit. There is entirely no need for as a black person. Imagine me trying to lose weight and blame white people for not losing it. True, man. It's true. Do you want to keep watching, or do you kind of get the gist? Do you know what I mean?
No. Let's keep watching. I'm interested.
And I love how it says experts. Where are they? What experts?
Yeah, exactly. No. Is there an interview coming, or like what's going on? Studies unlikely not racially diverse.
Right.
What?
Tell me what racially diverse, how being fat has anything to do with race. Like, I mean, this meeting went in 10 minutes, apparently. But like, how is fucking race got to do with being? Oh, this is what I mean. Like, how?
Yeah, that's just beyond everything.
Like, it just progressively gets worse, man. At first, you're like, I'll give her a minute, and then slowly it just seems to get fucking worse.
Almost no racial diversity in the studies that were used to create BMI, and we would today call this a form of colorblind racism.
Oh my God.
Of course, back in the era of slavery, we expected, or at least Westerners at that time expected, that Europeans were the ones creating what constituted good and bad science. But these days, we live in a world of multiculturalism and inclusion, and we understand that white men in lab coats should not alone determine standards for the globe without research that is incorporating a diverse array of individuals.
Fuck me. Like, what the fuck? At At what point have you ever heard? I'm sure it's happened, but I'm sure they got sued. Have you ever heard, Aspin, of a company going, "No, sorry, we can't employ you because you've got too high BMI"?
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
The amount of fat people I work with, like, do you know what I mean? There's bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, me, it's ridiculous, man. Fucking hell.
Oh,
so you talk to doctors there, and they say things like, "We are
more diverse
in the holistic portrait of our patients." That means when they come in, they can take their weight, but their weight is not going to be the main thing they're going to talk to them about. They're going to talk to them about their family history, their dietary practices, their exercise, their sleep, their levels of stress. All of these things and many more contribute to our health outcomes. We can talk about environmental toxins. We can talk about the walkability of your neighborhood.
Right. I don't even.
That is just unbelievable. And then, I mean, there are so many things in this video you could pick apart and attack. I picked up on one of the things, you know, about this standard that we apparently have in Western society, where women should be super skinny and whatnot. And it's not even true. It's not even the case.
Oh.
Like, nobody wants a skeleton for a woman. Okay, nobody, but very few people, at least that I've talked to and that I've heard about, want a woman that is super skinny.
Yeah,
like you want some fat on the bones, something to grab onto, right?
It's true, man. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, you're right, and yeah, and not just that. I think the thing that annoys me is she does it. This Sabrina Strings is obviously coming out with this fucking stupid shit, but then she's trying to throw in as many trigger fucking subjects as she can. You know, like women. Talking about women's rights and all that, like,
oh yeah.
I don't understand. What has women's rights? What has slavery? What has fucking any of that shit got to do with the fact that someone's obese? It's got nothing to do with it at all. If you're obese, you're fucking obese, and the reason you're obese is nothing to do with whether your neighborhood is walkable. If your neighborhood ain't walkable, walk around your fucking living room. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You know, this bullshit. These excuses. The walkability of your neighborhood. Environmental toxins. What you mean? The same environmental toxins that have been around for about 150 years? You mean those fucking toxins? Oh, that's because I'm fat, because I inhaled too much pollution. Shut the fuck up. Wear a mask. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it's so true though. Like, I'm glad you pointed that out, because she literally took every single like group and just. I mean, it's really impressive. Like, it's slavery, it's oppression against the women, it's the environment, it's
everything,
circumstances. Like, I mean, it's just,
man,
it's impressive.
It's almost as if she sat there and went, how can I make a video that will get lots of people to like talk about it? And the thing is, us, if you know, whoever sees it and stuff, we're feeding into exactly the reason why she did it, because she knows it's going to piss people off. However, it's that fucking stupid that we have to talk about it. There's just some shit, you know, sometimes you see it and say, I can't let this fucking go, man. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. How's the walkability of your neighborhood, Aspin?
My neighborhood's walkability, it's just freaking awful. Everybody's super fat because of it, actually.
Everyone just stays inside. Yeah,
everyone's just super obese.
That's it's
mad.
And
it's all because of the all because of the unwalkability of
the thing. I get it. If you live, well, I don't get it, but I mean, if she's talking about the walkability of a neighborhood, where do you live? I live in Iraq or somewhere that's being bombed. I'd be like, you know, you've got other priorities. You know what I'm saying? Like, fair play. But the vast majority of people, we don't live in war zones.
No,
you know, so the excuse of we can talk about the walkability of your neighborhood is just fucking ridiculous, to the point of what else is she going to say next? Do you know what I mean? So should we, because it's nearly finished, because I think otherwise I'm going to have an aneurysm or some shit watching this. Thanks. Do you know what I mean?
Access to grocery stores or only convenience stores. All of these things are consequential to our health.
Did she say if you have access to grocery stores?
Yeah.
And what else did she say? She
said, oh, sorry, Sabrina. Let's go through this.
We can talk about the walkability of your neighborhood. If you have access
to grocery stores or only convenience stores, that's an excuse for you being fat.
Yeah, I would say. I would say so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it also but if you're stupid enough to walk into a convenience store and instead of going, right, I'm going to try, because we've all done it, you know, like when you're hungry and you're out somewhere, you don't know the area, and the only fucking shop there is or place to buy food is the shitty convenience, you know, like a little, so you're like, oh shit, I best buy something. You don't go in there and go, right, I'm going to buy a full box of fucking, I don't know, fucking sugar puffs or some, do you know what I mean? You're going to try and fix something that is slightly better for you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I would.
I don't know, man. And just come on, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
The grocery stores or only convenience stores. All of these things are consequential to our health outcomes. But unfortunately, they're not taken that seriously within the medical establishment in this country.
No, because it's fucking lies.
Yeah, it's bullshit. That's why.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Wait, stigma. There's not a stigma. It's simply healthy versus unhealthy. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
like if you're overweight, it's unhealthy. It's been proven in science multiple times in multiple ways. That
throughout many years as well.
Exactly. Throughout decades and decades. It's like you, and it's like, and it's noticeable too. Like some people that are morbidly obese believe that they can do the same things and live the same lives that a person that is that has a normal BMI, but it's simply not true. If you can't walk to that fucking convenience store without sweating your fucking ass off when it's fucking cold outside, then something is wrong. Like, I'm just saying.
It's true. You're exactly right, man. Like, people who say stuff like, well, I'm just as healthy as you, I can do exactly what you can do. Okay, then let's go for a run. Let's run. And then we'll test that theory, shall we? And within 5 steps,
exactly.
And you'll be like,
they're having a heart attack.
Yeah, why are you out of breath? Oh, it's just because it's too warm. It's winter. You know what I mean? Like, it just. But yes. But yeah. What do you make of Sabrina Strings, Aspen? Like, spray some truth juice on her face.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate the video. I think I'm gonna give it actually a 9.5.
Holy shit!
In creativity, I'll give it a 9.5.
Fair point. Yeah. 9.5 for creativity and imagination. Definitely, man.
Yeah, I would say that. And for brains, I would give it a 0.05.
Nice.
Because actually 0.5, I think, because she actually was kind of articulated, wasn't she? She could actually speak well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she was definitely a smart woman.
Nice.
But you know, I mean, she's stupidly smart or smartly stupid, whichever way you want to say it.
Yeah. You know? At the end of the day, I think she is extremely lost. She is so convinced of her own ideology that she simply can't see anything else. Like there is no connection between any of those things. Maybe some small connections. But there's no excuse to be honest. There is no. Perhaps if you have some sort of disease, like some people have some sort of disease where it's harder to lose weight or they gain weight more easily. But that is if they have an actual fucking disease or a you know what I'm talking about. But if not, then there is simply no excuse. You're just lazy and you eat way too much or way too unhealthy foods.
No, that's exactly it, man. Like, I think that we're with, like I said, man, like I think we're at a point where, even though an example would be, right, a heroin addict goes into a doctor's, yeah, and for whatever reason, and the doctors will say something on the lines of, you need to really stop heroin, it's really bad for you, it's killing you, you know what I mean? Obese person walks into the doctor's, they might mention maybe you need to lose a bit of weight, right? But it's not going to be, kind of pushed upon them, because there's been people who've complained, aren't there, about, doctors saying, oh, he said I should lose weight. It's like, yeah, but he's a fucking doctor. But I just think it's weird how there's a stigma against people who take heroin, or not that I take heroin, but, like drugs, things that are killing them, But, and then nowadays you can't point out to someone and say, you're going to die if you carry on doing what you're doing. You can't say that anymore because people get offended. So, and that's why I think people just need some fucking truths, man. Like they say, what is it? The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Yeah.
Gone are the days. Gone are those days, man. You know what I mean? Where you can say to someone.
Yeah, and it's not based in hatred, right? No. If you say that it's unhealthy being obese, it's not out of hatred. It's first of all, it's because of facts, and second of all, it's for love and care for the other person, right? Because otherwise, you would just be like, you know what, fuck it, you do you. It's super healthy. It's all fine. Body positivity, this and that. But the people who are advocating for less body positivity are actually the good ones, or well, the good guys, in my opinion, anyway, because they actually care about other people's health and care about the truth.
That's a really good point, man. Yeah, that's a good point. Right? I never even thought of it that way. But you're right. Yeah, you're completely right. That we, not us per se, but people who point and say, look, like I love my mother, but she's putting on weight, and she's unhealthy and she's not happy. And she asked me, what do I do? And I said to her, well, maybe try this, maybe try that. And she started doing it, you know what I mean? But she never sat there and said, I don't know why, or she's never sat there and kind of been offended, if I've said, there's ways of going about it. If you like someone and you're not a cunt, you're not just going to slap an obese person around the face and go, lose weight, fatty. No. You know what I mean? You're going to approach it in a way that they understand why you're doing it. You're doing it, like you say, because you give a shit. You know what I mean? You want to see them live a healthy, decent life, because I've never been obese, but I put on quite a lot of, I used to be about 17 stone, and I'm about 13 now. And
kilograms, what is that in kilograms?
Let's have a look. So 17. I always forget, 17 stone in kg is 107 kilograms.
All right.
So it's a big boy.
Oh shit, yeah. And now you're 13, you said?
About 13 and a half, 4. I kind of waver, you know what I mean? I kind of depending.
All right.
But and I'm not like, I lost, but the reason I did it is because I felt shit. My confidence was fucking at an all-time low. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I couldn't perform when it mattered because of, do you know what I mean? My mental health was fucked. Like all these things, like, fucking hot weather, I'd fucking be in pain because I'd be chafing and shit. Do you know what I mean? And and I thought to myself, the only person who has got me into this mess is me. And the only person who can get me out of this mess is fucking me. You know what I mean? And I went through a stage of saying, oh, well, things like, well, if I get a takeaway, like a takeout, fast food, I'll make sure it's healthy fast food, like shit like that, where there's no real such fucking thing as healthy. There's healthier options slightly, but it's still not good for you, And I thought, well, once a month, I'll have some fast food just as like a treat, like as something just to, which is fine. But the reason I did it is because it's making my life a fucking misery, man. You know what I mean? And that's what we want for other people. We want them to be able to say, oh, isn't it nice not sweating from going for a 2-minute walk, or, and having confidence and shit, because nobody's saying, like you say, nobody wants a woman who's 2 stone and you can see her ribs and her spine. Nobody wants that shit. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's bullshit when she said that.
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. I just think we just
Yeah.
put all the obese people in a cattle pen, and then we just no.
Yep. That's the solution. We got this.
To be honest,
We're
you
gonna
know what
save
I
the
do?
world.
You know when you're trying to sleep at night and your mind's going. I was thinking, what would be a really good way for obese people to lose weight, right? Because they don't want to lose weight, or they find it difficult to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, right, we have a maze, a massive maze, right? And we put all the obese people. It'd have to be a wide maze. Put all the obese people. Put all the obese people in this maze, right? And we say to them, in the middle of this maze, there's all the cookies, all the cheesecakes, all the shit you could ever imagine, right? All you need to do is get to the middle of this maze. And also, not just that, you're free, right? Little do they know, Aspen, right? Little do they know there's no exit. Little do they know there's no cookies. And we just leave them in there for about a week, just wandering around, bumping into each other. And that week's worth of just not eating food and walking around, they'll lose quite a lot of weight. And I think there should be like a mobile fat maze that goes around the earth, you know, and just stops in certain parts of, you know, the planet, and just gets all the fat people, winch them up, you know, like in a big crane or something. It have to be like a really well-built crane. And then and then just winch them down and just leave them.
That's way more funny than it should be.
Well, that's what I'd do. I mean, probably not the most popular, you know, opinion, but
exactly,
we'd see results.
Yeah, it's necessary. It's a necessary evil, I would say.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And every now and again, we could just stand at the side just with a megaphone, just encouraging them, going, not far to go, not far to go, Steve. And they'd be like, I've been walking around for 3 days. Yeah, just keep going. And you know what I mean?
Come on, Steve.
Yeah, you can do it, Steve. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What would you how would you solve the obese crisis?
No, I can't beat that idea. You set the bar too high here. I don't know how else I would do it.
No, I think that's maybe the only option then. I think maybe we should get a petition.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe
send it off, and then it'd be fucking glorious. Just to send a petition off like that, just to see how people would react, would be fucking.
Oh my god,
it'd be fucking glorious.
We'd be famous though.
Yeah, we would. We would be famous. We would. We'd also probably get a lot of death threats, but let's be honest, they'll be from obese people. What are they going to do?
Oh, yeah, exactly. What are they going to catch us if we run? Like,
do you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to do anything. So, all right. I think, I think we've solved that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And also, I want to add something.
Yeah, go for it, man.
That, I mean, it's not healthy to be terribly skinny either. No. So I want to add that as well, that, you know, if you are way too skinny, if you weigh way below what's healthy for you, it's probably just as important for you to change your habits and gain some weight as it is for a morbidly obese person to lose their weight.
Absolutely.
And I'm speaking as someone who used to be extremely skinny
back
in the day.
Yeah.
And I looked in the mirror, and I didn't hate I've never hated myself. I've never hated my body, but I didn't like what I saw in the mirror at all. And I was weak, and I felt weak because I was weak. Right. And it's just going to be positive if you make a change. You're going to feel better. It's it's undoubtable. It's undisputable.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. Like, being drastically underweight and drastically overweight, it's like anything, any extreme when it comes to health is usually bad for you. Like these bodybuilders that are on loads of steroids that are built like tanks, they're not healthy. You know what I mean?
No.
These supermodels who are 2 stone, that's not healthy. You know, so it's like you say, man, just getting a balance, you know, and just eating the right fucking food, you know, and I think what scares me is the amount of stupidity or not even stupidity, almost ignorance when it comes to food, nutrition.
Yeah.
Because there's no real excuse these days, because it actually tells you on the back of the fucking pack what's in it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no excuse to go, well, I didn't know there was this in it. I didn't know there was this amount of fat. It tells you.
Exactly, that's true. And even if you're at like a fast food restaurant and whatnot, if it doesn't say anything on the actual packaging of whatever the fuck you're eating, then you can go to the website or whatever. Like it's available information anyway. Like
exactly.
every single piece of food that you've ever eaten, you can find the nutritional values online. If you can't find it on the product, it's available. So that's not
exactly.
It's definitely
and if you can't find that specific exact thing, you can get a ballpark idea, can't you, of, you know, like if you go to a shit KFC that isn't KFC, you know, you can get an idea of what deep fried chicken is, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right though, man. Like there's definitely, I don't know, I think that's what really pisses me off, is just the amount of excuses. I hate excuses. If you're fat, own it. Own the fact you're fat. But don't sit there and say you're as healthy as a normal weight person. You can do everything that a normal weight person can do. All this kind of, and that being fat isn't unhealthy. Don't sit and say that stuff, because all it's doing is feeding, no pun intended, is feeding, you know, other generations, younger generations or whatever, that it's okay to be unhealthy. And those generations, you see these kids, don't you, who are like 6 years old, who are morbidly obese and got diabetes. And it's like,
it's awful.
You know, and obviously it's not their fault, because it's the parents' fault, but that comes from their parents being, you know, fucking lazy, or not looking at shit or whatever, you know. But I guess that's probably a conversation for another time. Do you know what I mean? Blaming the parents.
Like it's all the fucking parents.
It is the fucking parents.
Fucking parents, man.
Yeah, man.